Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this, that means it's opening day, and that means baseball is officially back. The wait is over after a rough 2020 for everybody and in all of sports. We're getting a bit of normalcy back, so that is very exciting. To commemorate this season beginning, I wanted to come on here and officially make my prediction for the team for 2021. Before I get into that, though, I wanted to take a look at some of these articles. This one's from Evan Grant of the Dallas Morning News, and kind of see what the general consensus is around the team. I mean, I know it's not good, right? I know that already, but wanted to get some other perspectives before I officially say what I think the team's record is going to be this year. So first and foremost, you see how he says it is possible that the team loses 100 games this year. And while that might not actually happen, it is in the realm of possibility. They were on pace for that last year, I think, or just a little bit shy of it, if not. So essentially in this article, Mr. Grant here goes through each month and how he thinks they're going to finish the month. Got 10 and 17 in the first month. May 11 and 17, June 10 and 15, July 12 and 12, 13 and 15 in August, and then rounding it out with a nice 13 and 17 in September/October for a final prediction of 69 and 93. I think this is pretty close to what it will be, and he goes into a little more depth. I don't want to just sit here and read the article to you. I mean, y'all can check it out if you want, but I wanted to kind of go through the highlights and, of course, see that last number right there, 69 and 93. So I'll, once again, get into my opinion a little more later, but that seems to be close to what it might be. Then I found this article here as well from sportdfw.com, which I believe is also called Fansided. It's an article by Taylor Dunn, and he had an interesting point that the 2014 Rangers were similar to what we just saw. They were massively underperforming and just not good. I mean, this was 3 years after they won back-to-back AL pennants and were right there pretty much winning a World Series almost. So they went 67 and 95, and as we all know, in 2015, they won the division in an incredible comeback fashion, catching the Astros within the last week, I think. So Taylor here goes on to talk about how it could be an NFC East type situation where you might not even have to go above 500 almost to win the division. See, here in 2015, they won it with 86 wins. And he actually went through here and predicted each team's records instead of just Texas. And it looks like he's got Oakland at 83 and 79, Houston at 80 and 82, Angels at 76 wins, Mariners at 84 wins, and us at 72 wins. So once again, pretty close to what it might be. And I mean, I'm not going to act like I have some crystal ball here. You know, I'm also just guessing. And last but certainly not least, I wanted to take a look at the Fangraphs prediction, which I believe I posted this one when it came out, or when they kind of were initially talking about it. So you can see here, this was 2020, of course. There's us at the bottom of the division. Mariners, A's, Angels, and Astros. The A's pulled away with the division. And I think it was funny as well that the Astros made the postseason below 500. That was just pretty funny to me. It was obviously circumstantial with the 60 games, but it is a thing that could happen again this year, especially if they ended up doing the expanded playoffs, which I don't even remember if they're keeping that or not, to be entirely honest with you. But if that's the case, that could be something the Rangers could play into. You never know. But enough about last year. We're talking about this year. And my goodness, I did not know the run differential was this bad. I mean, this is the predicted one, but last year was almost as bad as what they're predicting for the entirety of this season. So in way more games. They also have us at 70 and 92. As we all know, anything can and does happen in an MLB season, so I wanted to kind of get into what I think will happen. So to kind of provide a better visual here, I want to pull up the schedule and do a very, very short series by series breakdown. So starting today, Kansas City, 3-game series. They are not bad this year from what I understand. Last year, I guess I can check. Let's see, how did they do last year? So they were 26 and 34, which still beat us by 4 games. So I don't know how much they improved this last offseason, but they do have a slight upper hand on us. And I mean, it's the first series out the gate, so anything could happen. We got Gibson, Kohei, and Lyles starting it off here. And then they come back home to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette, and Kevon Biggio, among others. So they got a bunch of young studs after a couple years of not being too hot either. I mean, the last time they made the playoffs, we were playing them. So that's about all you need to know there. Then a day off. Series against the Padres. That is going to be rough. Not going to lie, I have them winning the NL, in my opinion. I think they're going to win the NL. Tampa, they were just in the playoffs. Baltimore is actually getting better. Don't sleep on them. Angels will be top 3 teams in the division this year, I believe. White Sox are also getting better. We did swipe Dane Dunning from them, but now they have Lance Lynn, so there's that. Red Sox, I don't even know. They're like a wild card, dude. They lost Mookie. They lost Jackie Bradley Jr. I don't even think they have Benintendi anymore. I mean, I think they're just going full rebuild. So maybe that can be a win there. The Twins are still pretty good, even though they kind of choke a little in the postseason. So that will be a tough series. Mariners, it doesn't matter how good they are or how good we are. That seems to always be close. Then an interesting series with the Giants in San Francisco. That could be up in the air there. Astros, always a close series, no matter how good or bad we are, and same for them. So that should be close. It's in Houston. Then the Yankees come to town, and they will probably put the pounding on us a little bit. They've been building that monster rotation and monster lineup, Garrett Cole, and then they got Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, all kinds of dudes there just teeing off. Another series against the Astros, and then a couple more division series to round out May. June, they head to Colorado. Once again, I am not entirely sure on Colorado. I know they've been kind of tanking / rebuilding. They got rid of Arenado. They still have Story, though, at least for the remainder of the season, hopefully. The Rangers sign him. Then Tampa, Shin-Soo Choo bobblehead. That's a cool promotion there. Totally off topic as well, but I guess they cut down the amount of promotions they're doing this year because when it was the bobbleheads at the old park, it was first 15,000, I think, or maybe 10,000 would get it. So I guess because there's less people in the park. Then a series at home against the Giants, which is interesting. Dodgers, they'll probably put the smackdown on us. The A's, I don't think I've talked about the A's yet, but they seem to do very well against us. Also, pretty ironic that they have 2 Elvis Andrus promotions on back-to-back nights. Those will be his first games back in the ballpark, I think. I don't think they've played the A's yet, as far as I'm looking, yeah. So that will be kind of cool, a little reunion there. And Kansas City again, the A's again. As we head into July, Mariners, Tigers are a little mixed wild card as well. Then the A's, All-Star break, Jays, Tigers again, Astros again, D-backs at home. From what I understand, they're not bad either. The Mariners again, heading into August. A lot more division stuff. We've talked about all these teams. And then Cleveland is not as good as they used to be, but they still have pretty high potential to do well. And in the last month here, Angels, D-backs, A's, Astros, White Sox, Yankees, Orioles, and then the last series is against Cleveland at home. Okay, I thought it was the Angels, but they wrap things up against Cleveland. So I know that was a bit rambly. Sorry about that, but I wanted to quickly pick apart each series and not go super in-depth. But obviously the divisional teams I could tell you a lot more about than these AL Central teams and AL East teams. But I do try to keep a relatively broad base of knowledge about other teams that we would be playing. So, the part you've all been waiting for, what do I think the record's going to be? I'm going perhaps a little more on the bold end compared to what most people think, but I, here and now, am predicting that the Rangers will win 75 games. And yes, I know this is bold. It's a few more than the projected one from Fangraphs here. But I think they can do it. And I mean, we're not talking about a insane amount of wins here. We're talking about 75 wins. Last year, their full season projection would have been 60 wins. So yeah, that is a tall task. But if these guys stay healthy and continue to do what they know they're good at, guys like Gallo leading the team, Solak, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Jose Trevino, all these guys, and the pitching comes together to fruition, they can definitely win 75 games. I'm not saying easily, but it's definitely possible, and I know I'm going to get clowned for saying that they can win 75 games. I don't think it is entirely out of the realm of possibility for that to happen. So there you have it. In about 7 months, I'll come back to this video and see how I did. I don't feel super confident in that prediction, to be fully open with y'all, but I know it is possible. And if they pull it off, people will have a lot more confidence in this team. Because I see people like, oh my God, we're going to lose 100 games. It's going to be totally terrible. And they're just freaking out. But I'm telling y'all, it is possible and it may happen. Also, meantime, while I'm recording this literally right now, Francisco Lindor just signed a 10-year, $341 million deal with the Mets. So not related to anything at all, but a lot of people just sent me that. So I figured I would share it with y'all since it's happening now. It just happened. That is really all I gotta say for this video. I'm gonna link everything that I just referenced in the description. Let me know what y'all think of my prediction. I know, like I said, I know I'm gonna get clowned, but y'all gotta hear me out. You gotta have faith. You gotta believe. Just because we have players that aren't on the cover of MLB The Show or known by most fans doesn't mean you can't win some ball games. I can tell you, 2015, most people could not name people on that team, and they were in the playoffs. Let's take a look at the roster real quick. Speaking of, okay, you got a lot of guys that might not even be playing anymore, but this was the postseason. Well, this was not the postseason roster, but this was the roster the year they made the postseason. They did have a couple of standout names, like Mitch Moreland, who still plays. Of course, guys like Beltran Andrews. But a lot of this team was kind of just people left over from the 2014 squad. And that's nothing against this team. It just happens to be that not everyone was a superstar. And you don't need that. You just need a couple of people to keep the team together. And this year, I believe that is guys like Joey Gallo, guys like Nick Solak, Willie Calhoun once he's healthy, and these dudes that have been around for a couple years and kind of have seen how people operate within this organization. So before I go any longer, let me know what you guys think of my prediction. Let me know what your prediction is. And let me know if you're excited for the game today. This will be up before the game happens. But also 4 days in a row of uploads. That's pretty cool, right? I'm trying to give y'all some content here, but stuff also happens to be happening because it's about to be baseball season. So thanks again for watching, y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later.